Hey everyone, it's Lori. Hello, hello. Come on in. Welcome to Live with Lori. I'm excited to get with you guys today, as always, and jam about all things. Let me get my camera going here the way I like it. Jam about all things personal transformation and manifestation, and help you along your journey. So come on in, say hello when you get here. Tonight we're talking about 3 really soulful shifts to make when you are out of alignment. And so alignment is kind of this buzzword. We're going to talk about that just a little bit, but then I want to talk about when you're not finding your alignment, where you're not finding that emotional, spiritual alignment, and you're not finding that you're manifesting more of what you desire, but seems to be you're manifesting more of what you don't want. We're going to talk about some things to think about that can help you shift into a better frequency, into a better energy, and give you some gateways to really start this work, especially if you are new to me. I love to give you guys like jumping off points if you're new, and if you're a veteran and you've been around for a long time, I do know that these conversations that we have are incredibly helpful because they ignite your frequency, they help you create more alignment, they remind you just of how important it is to do the daily work, to do the daily practice. All right, so tonight we're talking about some soulful shifts that you can make when you are out of alignment. So, alignment. What is that? Does anyone know what actually alignment is? So I like to say, you know, alignment is a buzzword in the spiritual circle, but it really is a feeling, isn't it? So it's a feeling, it's a state of being, it's when your energy and your frequency is in the beautiful and same direction as the life that you want to live, as the desires that you have. It's called when I'm in alignment. It's when I'm in a feeling of peacefulness. It's when I'm in a feeling of all is wellness. It's when I'm in a feeling of love of myself. It's when it feels like a bit of bliss is actually in my day-to-day. It's when you're all clicked in, dialed in, tuned in, as Abe Hicks would say, tuned in, turned on, dialed up, whatever they say. So I want to like lean us into the direction of like what actually alignment is. And for me, it's such a feeling, you know. It is such a feeling. And you know when you're out of alignment, when you're feeling resistance or you're feeling some kind of emotion that might even feel negative to you. Maybe it's anger, or maybe it's frustration, or maybe it's irritation, or maybe it's you know, whatever the down spiral emotion is. That's that feeling of out of alignment. And that means I'm much more focused on potentially what's not working, much more focused on what I'm frustrated with, much more focused on the challenges in my life than I would be focused on the things that are working, the things that are unfolding beautifully, the synchronicities in my life. And why is that? And that's because our thoughts do create emotion. And I'm the first one to say, through my like psychology background, sometimes we're having emotion even before we realize the thought is there because we've been so wired. But for all practical purposes, we're having a thought, right? We're having a thought, and then we're having a feeling. That feeling is generating a frequency, and that frequency is either in alignment with more of what we want or less of what we want. So raise your hand if you've experienced the feeling of out of alignment and you know what that feels like. And if out of alignment, right, doesn't quite resonate with you, just stick with me and tune into some of these videos, because when I say out of alignment, it's just really out of sync. It's feeling off. It's feeling, you know, down spiraled. So let me know if you have felt out of alignment, and I would love to hear what you guys do when you feel out of alignment. So many people say, well, you know what? I meditate, or I focus on something that feels good to me, or I shift my conversation, or I work on shifting my belief systems, or I practice self-love, or I do the things that, you know, I'm sharing with you guys to do in the academy, or I'm being a conscious creator, or I'm engaged in, you know, a kind of personal transformation that really moves me. And, you know, and that's really our work here. I help people with 3 journeys, and one is one of personal transformation and worthiness, and one is the energetics of that and the energetics of manifestation, coupled with really truly the intentional manifestation practice that we do to create the life that we want to live. So that is my work kind of in a nutshell. Sometimes people say to me, Lori, what is it that you do? You know? And they'll say, what is it that you do? Are you a law of attraction coach? I'm like, yes, actually, that's so true. But I would call myself even more so a personal transformation coach, where transformation meets that beautiful quantum field. You know, it really is about becoming your quantum self and, you know, engaging in the quantum field, with the quantum field, dancing with the quantum field to create more of that which you desire. And when you shift, into a place of alignment, in a feeling place, a frequency of alignment, so magically, and I see it time and time and time again, your life shifts, and sometimes very profound ways. So I want to talk about these 3 soulful shifts. And we're going to be quick tonight because I want to just get down to the nitty gritty, but we've got like three soulful shifts. And there are many that I could have you make to like lean back into your alignment. But sometimes when we have circumstance hit us, or we have negative emotion hit us, or we have like an issue or a challenge hit us in any way, shape, or form, and it could feel ongoing in life. It could feel like something that feels like it's been, someone said to me the other day, she said, it's the story of my life. And I was like, that is an interesting frequency. Watch that word, because if it's the story of your life and you are living out of alignment and it's the story of your life, then I want to call you back to something more. I want to call you back to using words that have you examine your life in a little bit different way. So if you're ever feeling like there's a string of challenges or a string of misalignments that's just running your life, or if you feel like, holy smokes, life is pretty good, and every now and then I kind of like I fall off that fall out of my joy, fall out of my my goodness, which is so human, right? These are human conditions. No matter where you are in that spectrum, it's okay. But I have these 3 soulful shifts I want to talk to you about, and I call them the no matter whats. And like I said, you can get back into your alignment in so many ways, but sometimes you have to gateway yourself there. You have to back out of maybe meditation, because for some reason we meditate and we still can't get anywhere. And so I sometimes will look at something that is what I would even call like so obvious. Like I'm really good at stating the obvious and, backing out and saying, all right, where do I need to begin? Where does my frequency begin? So I want to talk about the soulful shifts, and they are the no matter whats. So I want you to feel into that moment, and maybe it was in your day, or maybe it was something in your week, or maybe it's an overarching umbrella difficult circumstance that you're dealing with right now in your relationships, or at work, or in your life in any way, shape, or form. And I want you to imagine that, okay, for just a second. Feel into that, feel into the stickiness of it for a second. And then I want you to imagine this very soulful shift that is a very obvious shift, and start it this way. No matter what, I manifest. No matter what, I am manifesting. No matter what, I am a manifester. No matter what, I am creating 100% of the time. And in the academy, I often teach about the 100% responsibility model. There's a lesson there, one small lesson in our work there, that's about the 100% responsibility model. But I want you to feel into this when you're feeling out of alignment, like what this does for you. Like, no matter what, I am manifesting. No matter what, I'm a conscious creator. No matter what, I'm creating my reality. And I want you to feel like how it might feel to say that with such conviction that you own it, even when you're out of alignment. Because here's what I've come to know to be true. Like if you can take ownership of the out of alignmentness, if you can take ownership of the challenge, if you can take ownership of it, no matter what, I am a manifester. No matter what, I'm a powerful conscious creator. If you can own, no matter what, I own my misalignments, and I own my alignments, I own my challenges, and I own my successes. If I own it all, I can have it all. So it's kind of like, whoa, of course, if I can own this big challenge, or I can own this big emotional response, or if I can own my even my emotional suffering, which if you're human, you've had lots. If I can own my emotional suffering as a manifestation, then I can own and create something as big on the other side of that. And so I sometimes think to my hardest times, I'll be like, if I can own that manifestation, that means on the other side of that, I can own a manifestation that hasn't come yet, that is equally magnificent in its brilliance and in its awe and in its mind-blowingness. No matter what, I'm a conscious creator. No matter what, I am been blessed with 100% responsibility. So why is that a soulful shift? The no matter what? The no matter what, so I have two more for you. Why is that a soulful shift? Well, because it's quantum perspective. The ego would say, that's not your fault. The soul says, I'm a manifester. Your inner being says, I'm a conscious creator. The inner being says, there is not any circumstance that is too big for me. And if we can create this and own it, we can create that magnificent, magnificent manifestation and own that too. So I want to gateway you into that power for a moment, because what's on the other side of that is personal transformation. And what's on the other side of that is manifesting practice. And what's on the other side of that is results that are mind-blowing and energies that you bring to the table that actually move your life in the ways that you want them to move. And it's like remarkable to me. And I have seen it and seen it and seen it time and time again, to the point where you're like, you can't make that up. It's so amazing. So when you shift, life shifts. So I want to say no matter what, right? So drop into the comments for me if you're willing to say no matter what, I manifest. I manifest. And how powerful that is. I used to say, I bring butterflies, like no matter what. I bring butterflies. And that was my metaphor for even if I was out of alignment, and even if I felt like I manifested something that was so, whoa, negative to me, that I always anyway brought butterflies, and it stood me in my power every single time. Okay, tell me if that resonates. Tell me if that resonates. It's beginning stuff, it's gateway stuff, but you need to go there, you need to hear it, and it needs to be the place where you start this journey. And sometimes it needs to be the place where you waken back up to the journey, right? Where you're starting the journey again. So no matter what, number two, the no matter what's. This is a little bit hard. This seems a little cliche, but it's true. No matter what, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. No matter what. So I want to venture to guess, playfully, that the universe absolutely knows the path, knows the maze, right? Knows the labyrinth. It knows the way, the bends and the turns. And it knows absolutely your desire, and absolutely not just the one path to it, but the 10 paths to it. And so no matter what, I have to trust that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be all the time, even in the crux of it. I was telling someone today that, like, sometimes even in my darkest times, in my most misaligned moments in my life, that I had some of the most light-filled divine connections, the most divine downloads in what sometimes somebody would call the dark night of the soul. And it's like, who makes that up? You're in like contrast, you're out of alignment, and suddenly you can't have good things happen. That's not true. It means I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Sometimes that brings me to like a deep exploration, you know, of where I'm at. Sometimes it brings me to this deep contemplative moment, and that's okay, but I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, no matter what. If I was supposed to be somewhere else, I would be, period. And I can't tell you how many times I've said to Tim, because we met when we were, 40, almost 7, when we were 47 going on 48. And I've said to him 1,000 times, I wish we would have met earlier. Like, why didn't we hook up in high school? What was the scoop with that? And we always have this beautiful conversation about how we weren't supposed to yet. But the ego, my ego even, wants to playfully go, why did I meet you? We went to second grade together. Why didn't I see you when we were 25, you know, passing through that establishment when we were both there? Those kind of things. And I have to bring my ego back, the part of me that says I should be somewhere else, or I should have been somewhere else, or I shouldn't have had a certain contrast or a certain challenge. I have to bring myself back to, no matter what, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And no matter what, we are exactly where we were supposed to be. So can we agree on that? It's like if you were supposed to be somewhere else, you would be. That's the truth. And you can't see through the ego. You can't see the perspective that your inner being has or your divine guidance has about the bending path and how you'll get from point A to point Z in the unfolding of your life, which is so beautiful, and it's such an awakening. Like, you're supposed to have all of these experiences no matter what. Exactly, no matter what, where you're supposed to be. And here's the thing, like, as a previous counselor and social worker, I bump up against this, and you have all heard me say this a lot. I bump up against, you know, when we have traumas in our life and when we've been victimized in certain ways. And there's room for the processing of that. There is room for the processing of that. However, from a conscious creator perspective, it's really powerful also to stand in your power and be like, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And I have the power to choose. I have the power to move. I have the power to create. And what's that going to look like today? And it starts, for example, with me owning that I'm a powerful creator and me standing maybe in a different kind of love for myself than I've ever stood before. Like, no matter what. So I go there, even today in my humanness, you know, why did we have to live these other 30 years apart, right? And it wasn't like we were even apart, but we were supposed to be together now, no matter what. So, but I sure do love the game that says, what if we would have met a long time ago? What if we would have met in the grocery store? I do love that game. So, but no matter what, can we all agree I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be? The other, no matter what, okay? If you are out of alignment, this soulful shift, and this is a belief in self, and it starts with loving yourself enough to trust yourself, to believe in yourself, to feel fierce. You know, I mean, I'm very much in this like level of fierce grace and belief in self that allows you to like pull up your spiritual bootstraps and rise like goddesses. And so no matter what, I can get back in, no matter what. Because here's the thing, you can. And I can't tell you how many times in my own life that I've been somewhere and I'm like, I'm so far out of alignment. I'm so far away from the center of myself right now. How did I get here? There's been times. And every single time I got back in. Every single time I found my way. And if you look at your life, you probably could say the same thing too, because we can get back in. So it's like, no matter what. And this is an internal conversation, and I don't care like how bad it's been, we can get back in. And that does not mean we have not experienced broken hearts. It does not mean we have not had grief. It does not mean we have not had trauma. It does not mean any of that. But what it means is that I can create and manifest, and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I can get back to and even better than where I was before. And so that almost like, I don't know, that moves me a little bit. It's like, do you realize that, you know, your expanding self is like so beautiful. Your moving self is so beautiful. And when you, with some conviction, goddesses, say to yourself, no matter what, I can get back in my powerful alignment, no matter what. And even better, I have gotten through every challenge and through every misalignment, out of alignment, spun out, splattered. Ego feels sometimes like she's been like splattered on the floor some days, right? There has been days. But I will be better than I ever was. I can get back in and be better than I ever was. A lot of times we go through hardship and it's like we see ourselves regressing. We see ourselves like, I'm losing ground. But every hardship represents an opportunity for you to be better than you were before. And if you start to have that conversation with yourself, like, oh my gosh, I'm out of alignment, I can get back in, I could be better than before, who might I become through this? Like, I can't even imagine. And I couldn't even imagine through some of my hardships in my life, like who I became through them. And I would never say it when I'm in it. True story. You never have the in the moment sight sometimes, but there's that trust that says, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I can get back in and it's going to be darn good. And it's going to be better. And I'm going to be stronger than I ever was once I do. And all I need to do now is get back in. And what's it going to take for me to do that? So I want to call you to that, you guys. I want to call you back to some empowerment. You know, sometimes we have to find the belief within ourselves that we can actually do the work, that we can actually become who we want to become to manifest the dreams we want to live. And you can. And you need to start with like taking a darn good look at your power here that exists right inside of you and outside of you, all the things connected to this divine universe. You have this amazing universal field of consciousness for you to play with and create anything you want. It's like you have a sandbox in front of you. What would you like to create today? What would you like to build? What would you like to sculpt? What would you like to mold? And imagine plunking yourself down in that universal sandbox and saying, holy smokes, what do I want it to look like? Because I, no matter what, can manifest. And I, no matter what, am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I, no matter what, can get back in my alignment and start moving my energy in such a way that I build up the castle in front of me because I can. You know, there's a lot of energy in that, and there's a lot of frequency of self-belief in that, and a whole lot of frequency of self-worth in that. And I want to call you to it just because. You know, why can you believe this way? Just because. That's it. There isn't anyone that says anything different except you. And so if you're feeling powerless, I just want to bring you back to your power. If you're feeling like you should be somewhere else, I want to bring you back to the magic. And if you want to come back into alignment with yourself, I want to bring you back to examining like what it takes to do so. And it starts right here with the belief in yourself and loving yourself and looking for like the next opening, the next synchronicity that has blessed your life and leads you to the next amazing unfoldment, right? The universe knows the maze. You don't know the maze yet. So let me know if this resonates, you guys. I want to help get you back into your power. Does this resonate? Is this helpful? Did you need to hear this? Were you feeling out of alignment just a little bit today and you have to be reminded, maybe even woke up just a little bit, just reminded of what exists inside of you? In all of my work, some days, even in my immersion in this frequency all day long, there are still times when I say, you know, come back to the basics. Let's go, like come back to the basics and walk through those doors, because on the other side is a totally new you and a totally new life if you want that. So, but we can't stay there. And remember, you don't have to, you get to choose. So that's what's so awesome about shifts, you guys. That's what's so awesome about shifts is you get to make them. They don't always just happen to you when something magnificent happens outside of you and you say, oh my gosh, I had the most awakening shift. Sometimes literally you choose them and you allow yourself to be moved by something that seems so obvious, like I manifest. I do. I manifest. My gig. All right. I'd love to hear actually what you took away from this and what you needed tonight and maybe what you needed to hear and maybe what you're going to put into place. So if this resonated, my dears, and you want to take the next step to like take a look at how you can deepen this work, #ready below, and we will connect. I will jump on the phone with you and we will do a 15-minute amazing life-changing jam session, and I will give you some pointers about how I see it that can really help you get back where you want to be, and that's in flow and alignment and really like reducing those sticking points. I had a conversation with someone earlier today, and I said to her, sometimes I state the obvious. She goes, yeah, but I didn't see that. And I'm like, good. And that's what we do in these little 15-minute calls. I like to give your life a little, I guess, assessment. We did a ton of abundance assessments over the weekend. It was magnificent to connect with all of you. And the shifts were amazing and profound, and I had so much fun connecting with you. And I will be doing the same here after this call tonight, looking at what's going on for you and how we can unhook you, unstick you so that you can get your flow going and create more of the magic happening in your life. You know, synchronicities are real. So hashtag ready if you want to jump on the phone, and I'll share with you all the ways that I can help you and create a path for you if you're interested, and we'll go from there. So I love you all very much. It's been a joy, as it always is. I will see you next Monday, same time, same place. Okay, bye for now.